Player team pick.
Hello everyone and welcome to Defense of the Australians Autumn 2014. This is a game between Team S and the Alphas. I'm Zelif and I'm joined by Dawn. How you doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. How you going?
Yeah, I'm doing quite well. Quite excited to see these two teams clash. We have Team S, they're coming up from the Open qualifiers, and the Alphas, they placed third last season, so one of the favourites to go pretty far this season and in this tournament. And Team S, they've got a very strong team to be up against right in the first round of here in the round of 16 playoffs, I should say. Hopping into the draft so far, we do see that Lycan and Nagas Iron band pretty common, and of course the AA and Ember Spirit also very common bands out here so far.
Yeah, Bears, we've seen a lot of so far in the tournament actually. Like it hasn't made it through in a single draft as far as I'm aware, and interesting that the Alphas let Invoker through, knowing, I'm assuming, that Team S is going to pick it. Now, what I do wonder is if Team S picked that because they really wanted it, or is it more to deny it to the Alphas?
Yeah, it's going to be quite interesting. I mean, they've got the Centaur War and they've got the Dazzle here from the Alphas. So far, that's looking pretty strong. I wouldn't be too surprised if Team S themselves actually pick up maybe something like a Timbersaw. Just because it works so well up against that Centaur, there's big strength heroes. But they've got the Invoker and they've got the Marana on their side. That Marana, it still hasn't been really revealed on what sort of laning they're going to put her in, whether it's going to be like the semi-carry role or if she might go as a support. Pretty versatile in that regard, but yeah, so far the Alphas, they're looking a little bit more bulky and I guess more survivable, I should say, just because they got that Centaur and Dazzle so far.
Yeah, no doubt about that, and I think we'll probably expect to see the Marana on a support. I've talked before about how I don't like it as a carry, and we'll just see where they go with it. But I'm interested to see if this Invoker is going to go Quaswex or the Exort build, because we did see Exort build last night, and we saw how that worked out. Not very well. So I would like to see Quaswex. I think it brings a lot more utility to the team, allows you to achieve more in the mid game, and it's just a very strong hero. So I'm looking forward to seeing how they play it.
Yeah, it'll be quite interesting. Yeah, the Marana, if they are going for that support Marana, I suspect they'll probably pick up something, that combo as well, if it's something like that Bane, potentially. We already see the Ruby get banned out. We've seen Ruby be comboed with the Marana in the past. In fact, we saw it last night. Some nice lifts with the telekinesis, followed up with the Marana arrow right into it. But yeah, we won't see that this game. We also see a Disruptor get banned out, which... There was quite a bit of Disruptor play last night actually, particularly in some of those Wombo combo lineups.
Yeah, I see they banned out the Ruby very fast, so it kind of surprised me because they don't have much to steal so far. So it makes me wonder if they're planning on picking up an Enigma or big AoE ultis, and you can see right now that's what the Alphas have picked. They're thinking because they banned out the Disruptor and they banned out the Darkseer, two heroes that work very well with the big Wombo combo team fight stuff. So that's probably what they're worried about. But I don't know if Team S is going to go for that. We'll see where they go. I'm surprised they didn't ban the Enigma.
Well, the thing is, banning out the Darkseers are obviously pretty good in the offlane, and the Disruptor can just be annoying in any sort of teamfight situation. Team S aren't really forced into sort of any sort of team play because they ban out that Rubik. It sort of shows that they might go for it. And Invoker works well in those lineups, but Invoker works well in pretty much every lineup just because he's so versatile, and so does Marana. Instead, Team S decided to pick up a Morphling, and Morphling's a hero that's seen split pushing a lot and just farming up for most of the game compared to being in those team fights as much as he would like.
Yeah, well, we saw him last night play to great effect, and I am surprised that we see him straight away again. It's like you don't see many teams going for the Morphling on their hard carry, and obviously that's going to be their hard carry, which puts Marana on the support role. So just interesting to see these Australian teams prioritising the Morphling and the Witch Doctor as well. Something you've seen quite a bit, but you don't see so much in professional games.
Yeah, they've also picked up the Templar Assassin, which has been seeing. Well, we saw quite a bit of play from her last night. It worked out quite effectively. I can't remember Which teams? I think it was played by multiple teams.
Radiant team
I know
back.
Kfini picked up once, and there was I think someone else played it out at some stage as well. But Team S they pick up the Earthshaker for themselves, so it does look like it's going to be that Mirana Earthshaker support. Um, this is quite interesting. I mean, Earthshaker gives you the potential to really control, where the opponents can move, I guess, in the early phases of the game. And if you can land some nice fissures, even if you're just roaming around with an Earthshaker, you can really cause a lot of havoc in some of those other lanes. And particularly against a lot of these heroes who don't really have, a leap, for example, or a blink, it's going to be a bit hard for them to escape.
Yeah, definitely. Earthshaker brings a lot. He's very good at long-range initiation. He can do it from essentially level 1. So I suppose we'll see a Mirana Earthshaker combination down in the bot lane, which does give them a lot of stuns. It's going to allow them to get that Morphling farmed. Whereas on the Alpha's side, you see the Tinker. They picked up a Tinker, which well, they could run it mid, or they could run it top. I have seen Tinker perform very well in this as a safe lane carry. It doesn't happen very often. I'm not expecting we'll see it here, but gives them some flexibility. And now Team S are going to be looking for a mid hero, unless they decide to put the Mirana mid. Interesting that Alpha's banned out the Clockwork, so they might be expecting an offlane mid hero. Sorry, they've got the Invoke. I completely missed that. So they'll be looking at an offlane here. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I still think Timbersaw might not be a bad choice here. Just because it works well, as I said before, against that Centaur. And of course, once he gets those levels up, once he gets the Chakram, he can certainly, well, he could bring down a lot of these pretty squishy and fragile heroes from the alphas. You've got the Witch Doctor, Tinker, who aren't very tanky. Even Templar Assassin without the refraction stacks, she falls very quickly. Dazzle, of course, does have his Shallow Grave, but that only lasts for so long. And thanks to actually been the Shadow Demon. This is interesting.
Yeah, there you go. So I guess Shadow Demon works very well, very effective. It is kind of hard to maneuver when the Shadow Demons, even if as soon as you come out of the disruption, it is kind of hard to maneuver the illusions around you. So I guess that means Earthshaker in the offlane. Or I don't know. I can't tell what they're going to do. We'll have to see we'll have to see where they go with it. Yeah, you never really tell. That's one of the good things about these games we've been seeing is that we've seen a lot of teams going for alternate strategies, mixing it up, trying new things, which I like a lot because in the professional scene a lot of these days you see the cookie cutter heroes, the cookie cutter builds. It looks like Invoker's going to be going bot, so they're safe lane farming. Are they just roaming into the jungle here?
I think
I'm not sure.
I think they're just gonna probably roam to the jungle for a little bit. Maybe try to get off a quick level 1 kill. As everyone is moving into the jungle except for the Morphling, who's currently just moving through the mid lane. Looks like he's going to the jungle as well.
Yeah, so we might see a little bit of early game action here. That'd be great to see. We have seen quite a lot of this game, and we might actually see it at mid. Mirana's arrow is not going to hit, so that's probably a bit bad. What about Mana going?
It looks like it was just to scout out Roshan more than anything there.
30 seconds to battle.
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose with the TA's, her mill, they could attempt to rush straight with the minus armor. I don't really see it happening, but it's always good just to check that.
Yeah, I mean certainly with this lineup that the Alphas has, they could be able to do Roshan, and it's good that that Team S is knowledgeable enough to be like, you know what, we should actually scout this out because there is a potential for this sort of play, and just setting out the arrow, yeah, it does lose a little bit of mana, but at the end of the day, it's better than losing a Roshan, for example.
The bot rune is actually not going to be scouted by anyone. And we could see it looks like, yeah, Morphling mid, aggressive tri-lane, and the Invoker's going to safe lane farm the bot lane. He's got the boots, just for the bit of extra mobility and the avoiding ganks. There you see the Witch Doctor picking up the haste rune, so we'll see if he can do anything with it, but he's going to struggle, except if he can probably get a little bit of harass on Morphling, but that's about it. Morphling looks like he'll be rushing that bottle. He's got 2 pulled tangos and 3 sticks, so we'll see how that goes.
We should probably actually introduce these teams, so we haven't done so far. On the side of Team S, we do have Guanin on. Actually, he's getting jumped on in his bottom lane by Ali and Forrest Gump. It looks like they're going to back off. But yeah, we've got Guan in there on the Invoker. In the mid lane, we do have OO on the Morphling. Base Skip is sitting on the Shadow Demon. We've got Kya on the Earthshaker. And last but not least for Team S, we've got KVA or Toaster Gaming, if you want to say, on the Mirana. Oh, sorry, that's KVX, not KVA.
And on the side of Alpha, we have 458 playing the Templar Assassin, Owly on the Centaur War Runner, Gosu Panda going to be playing the Tinker at the top lane, Forest Gimp on the Witch Doctor, and Greed on the Dazzle. And already you see the top lane pushing quite hard. They've got the 2 range creeps they're attacking, so that's going to give Tinker a bit of a chance to last hit. And like, I've got to say, we've got some very interesting lanes so far. You got a Tinker in the safe lane and Invoker in the safe lane. They're going to go on the Invoker at bot. They've got the stun, they've got the cast, but the cast isn't going to bounce. I don't think they can bring him down. And he doesn't have double edge. That would have been a killer if he had double edge, but he's just got the return.
I mean, it
Very
does.
unfortunate.
Yeah, it does mean that he's not going to get harassed as much in his bottom lane, but at the same time, as we saw there, if he did have that double edge, he probably would have gotten himself a kill.
Yeah, definitely. And interestingly, you see the Earthshaker doing some shenanigans on the Ancients. I must say, I've never actually seen them. I've never actually seen the wave pulled to the Ancients before. It's very common to see it pull the hard camp over here and just deny a wave like that, but obviously they are aware of this because you see 2 sentry wards down here. Base Skip now going to be denying the enemy sentry wards, so hopefully they can keep stacking that or taking the creep wave to it, which is going to give Morphling it's going to give him a good advantage against his Templar Assassin.
It's also
So
a very
she does her bottle up.
that's also a very well placed sentry as well, right there on the extremely low ground. That shouldn't be blocking anything there. But yeah, it's so far there's been a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of aggression, but nothing too major in some of these lanes.
Oh, we
Particularly
got a
in the bottom
disruption and arrow onto top lane.
lane. Oh, well, there you
The
go.
Tinker's going to go down here. Oh, maybe not. Got the Dazzle in there, supporting him with the Shallow Grave. Can they keep going though? He's got the Shadow. No, he's going to live. Wow. Well played by the Dazzle, and well played by Base Skip. Well, just setting up that arrow.
Yeah, and we sort of spoke about this earlier. That combination, very powerful. And if you've practiced it, you're pretty much never going to ever miss it.
Yeah, and Templar Assassin picking up the DD rune at bot, so because she has again had the creep wave denied to her, but good on her for at least not wasting her time, getting that DD rune, giving herself a bit of survivability, and this will at least allow her to last hit. Take it over the Morphling, because she is falling behind a little bit at the moment, which obviously is to be expected with like half the waves being denied.
Yeah, that is a lot of good work there being done by the Earthshaker. If you can deny that mid, especially a Templar Assassin who really does require the farm, so much of that experience, and particularly the gold, that's going to make a huge impact moving into the mid game.
Yeah, definitely, and and while it's looking good for the Morphling, getting the experience and levels, the experience and gold over the TA, on the other side of that is the Earthshaker not getting any real farmer XP. He's getting a little bit from these Ancients, but it's not the same as pulling to the hard camp. So he's going to suffer a bit there.
I'm terribly sorry for those on the stream. I completely forgot to turn off the draft overlay. That should be fixed now. Well, it'll be a 2-minute delay, but yeah, it'll be
There's a
fixed now.
chance to fix it now.
Yeah. Looks like there is a bit of lag. I noticed that it's been a little bit jumpy, and actually the servers haven't been that stable in the past few days, so hopefully everything gets sorted very soon.
Yeah, definitely. So, looking back at this mid lane at the moment, because it is interesting, you don't see the Templar Assassin versus Morphling very often at all. Who do you give the edge to here? Now, like, obviously, taking it out of the fact that Earthshaker is giving Morphling a lot of assistance, who do you give the edge to?
I think at the moment Team S are doing incredibly well. Just overall, this Invoker is not getting too much in the bottom lane, I gotta say. He's only got 2 last hits in fact, but because Morphling's doing so well here in this mid lane up against the Templar Assassin, I think that might be a bit bigger. You know, Invoker can do well just with experience and just with his skills, whereas these 2 mid heroes, they really need the gold, and so far, well, I mean, Templar has been denied quite a bit, but still doing well to try and keep up as much as he can. I still gotta say, TMS is probably a little bit ahead in that regard though.
Yeah, and you actually see the Dazzle has rotated down bottom to just shut down that Invoker even more, leaving the Tinker alone in the top lane, but the Tinker at 10 and 0 is definitely doing a lot better than the Invoker at 3 and 2. So he's probably going to be looking at getting those boots of travel not too bad a time. I don't know if he's going to go for the Soul Ring or the bottle first. I probably would expect that he's going to go straight for the boots of travel, but we'll just have to see how it goes. I'm not a big Tinker player myself, so...
Yeah, I mean, it depends on exactly how his farm goes, and like if he gets ganked, if he gets killed, then he'll probably consider maybe picking up that ring a little bit sooner. Whereas if he has no, if currently he's only sitting at 10, which in a safe lane you sort of want to be on a lot more. He does have marching machines, which can always help him catch